G'day, I'm here to demonstrate the fire bow today, and I've only done this a few times before. It's a bit of a recent trick for me, but it's good fun, and yeah, I want to show people how easy it is. So basically you have a few different elements. One is a bowed piece of wood with a shoelace, string or thin rope attached to it. Now the rope is important. It's got to be something that's not going to fray too much and not going to snap when you're using it at high velocity. The tension on the string is pretty important as well. It's got to be tight enough that it holds your fire bow in place, but not so tight that it's unable to turn or it squeaks too much when you're using it. So basically that's the technique. You loop it in there, wrap it around until there's a loop around the fire bow, the fire drill rather. Now the material itself, you can see this one's got some furrows worn away into it, so I've been using it, and it's pretty, it's what they call a soft hardwood. This is just a piece of driftwood that I picked up off the beach. Some of the telltale indicators that it might be good for combustion are that you can press your fingernails into it and it makes a pretty solid indentation there, and aside from that it's very light. It's very light, and I've found that light materials seem to be more combustible. So this is similarly a piece of driftwood, different type of wood, but only slightly. It's also got the same properties. You can make an indentation on it with your fingernail. So once you've got those sorted out, this has obviously got to be fairly circular as well to get some good rotation happening. Yeah, and your fireboard or base needs to be flat, so it'll sit flat on the ground. As you can see, I've made a few. I've massacred this one pretty much, but there's probably another 2 fires in it. So and the third element, or fourth element in fact, is just something to hold on to it. When I first started I used a shell. You can use just about anything from this. They say candle holders can be really good, but I've just got a little furrowed out piece of wood, and it's good for holding it in place. Basically that is your handle. Now once you've got all that happening, all it really takes is to use a knife, make a hole in your fireboard so that the edge of the circle that you're going to make is about aligned with the edge of your fireboard, if that makes sense. You can see here, it just touches the edge of the hole. So that's all it takes to get it started. You want to have a rounded end on both ends of your fire drill, but to begin with it's often easier to start with a bit more of a point, just to get the hole established. You will find as well that the more you use certain fire drills especially, they might get fire hardened, and you want to take off the fire hardened wood off the tip before you attempt to reuse them. So I'll just get this hole established. Now the technique here is all important. If you're right-handed, as I am, it's going to be your left foot forward, right knee on the ground, and you'll reach your left arm around and lock your left wrist into your left shin as support for your handle. So then it's just a matter of getting the right tension on the string. You can use your hand, your base hand, to adjust the tension by squeezing the string, and you sort of adjust the amount of downward pressure as well. You don't want too much squeaking, but you've got to be able to dig into your baseboard and create some sawdust there, which will eventually ignite and create a coal. As you can see already, I'm starting to get a bit of smoke. It doesn't actually take too much once you've got the right materials and the right string tension. So if I go faster, I'll get more smoke, and essentially that hole gets deeper and deeper. Now if you get slippage like that, it means your string is starting to loosen, and that might require you to add more tension or even adjust the string on the bow. But that's all you want to do to begin with, is to establish a hole like that, a bit of a groove. And then it's just a matter of getting your knife and saw blade cutting into the centre of that divot that you've made. So you can see, gone to the centre, and now what we want is one of these downward oriented triangular shapes. So I don't want to cut out the top to be too wide. I want the base to be wide but not the top. So I just cut off at an angle like that, and the same on this side. And that should be approximately enough. Alright, so as far as tinder goes, you want something that's dry. I've found that some fibrous dry bark is really optimal, and all you've got to do is you can break it up with your hands, but if you've got a saw blade on your knife, it makes it really easy just to increase the surface area. You cut into it, expose all the fibres, and that gives you the best chance of combustion when you get a coal in there. So I'll just cut that up a bit. As you can see, it's very fibrous bark. It easily takes a spark or a coal. That should do us. Nearly lost him. That is a coal. Tell because it's still smoking, it's holding together. So I'll put it in the tinder bundle. Pretty windy today, so I shouldn't have to do too much blowing on it. But we'll get it in there. There we go, combustion. So it is that easy.